Okay. Oh, this mark is really bothering me, but actually, yeah, no, it is really bothering me. It is really bothering me. Hold on. Okay, that's better. So, yeah, so I kind of got this inspiration from Leah Marie Johnson. And I met her once at Playlist Live. She was very sweet. She's older than me by like a couple years. But she did a video where she was painting and talking at the same time. So, yeah, I love to paint. I actually started when I was a kid, but I never dedicated myself to it. But during COVID quarantine, I started to dedicate a lot to painting, like a lot. I feel like this is a weird angle, I'm sorry. I'm kind of a perfectionist, which is something you can't really be when you paint. But yeah. So it doesn't help that I don't have it stand, but regardless at the angle it's at, it can turn into something that it wouldn't if it was standing. So I don't know what's in the background, but yeah, so I guess I'll do a paint my life, a rendition of it, because I'm not literally painting my life, but yeah, so I guess a little story time. I have some markers, so I'm gonna get some markers as well, but so a little story time. I pre-recorded a video with my ex, and we were recording, and we had recorded a video of which we would be like, all right guys, so this is what we think is gonna happen in 2026. And I remember I had said that I hope that I have a lot of success with like what I'm doing in terms of like, I hope that by this year, which now we're in 2026, that I'm gonna do what I enjoy doing instead of feeling like I'm doing something that just makes money. And that is exactly what ended up happening. So for that, I'm really happy about. Other than that, I would say that I remember my ex had said. Anyways, I remember my ex had said that he wanted like everything to go well, like to fall in place for him. So I don't know if that's really true, because we're no longer together, nor do we communicate outside of just fixing everything we couldn't fix when we were together, which is really not much outside of just finances. We were living together, so some things we have to deal with. But yeah, so I bring that up because like today would have made a huge difference in my life had I gone through decisions that I had put in place to happen. So basically, I had really wanted like to just follow an educational route, but that didn't exactly happen the way I planned, because like I don't know, I just feel like I had more aspirations than just what I had been telling people, and I always just thought my dreams were just way too big, and so I was always scared to just pursue said dreams. but I learned not to be afraid of doing that. You know, I learned that if you don't take chances that sometimes, or I would say most times, don't make sense to a lot of people, but if you don't push yourself to do those things, no one can do them for you, because those things have to do with your ambition and your act of pursuing that, and those things can't happen without you taking charge. And that's something that really does fuel me. Like, it fuels me to feel like I have a purpose. I think that I always felt like I was doing things because I had to, because, you know, this is what you're supposed to be as my daughter. This is what you're supposed to be as my sister. This is what you're supposed to be as my friend. This is what you're supposed to do because you belong here and there. And it even got to the point where I just feel like I lost myself, and I felt like, you know, my identity was changing like every day. Like, it's like one day I'll be like, okay, I know who I am, I know what I want, and then the next day it would be completely different. It wouldn't even have to take a whole day. Sometimes it would just literally be like I changed my mind like 5,000 different times in 1 hour, and stuff like that really gets to you once you realize that, well, actually, I don't know who I am, and I'm just following what other people are doing. And sometimes that doesn't even make sense to me, what I'm doing, you know? But I learned that no matter what happens, like, as long as you forgive yourself every day, as long as you take pauses and you think, okay, well, I didn't get this right, but it will be okay. You know, it's like pressing a button on yourself. Like, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. Every single time, no matter what. It could be something as simple as something that I do, which I lose stuff all the time. You know, sometimes I'm like, oh, I thought I put it there, but then I look in the corner and it's somewhere else. And, you know, something like that I would definitely on a daily basis fault myself for. But then I think to myself, but look, I'm making an effort to go find it, you know, or whatever, you know, but it's going to be okay. Always, you always have to tell yourself that. And I guess full transparency is that I was going to support group. So basically, if you don't know what that is, it's talking to people. So it's not like group therapy, because with group therapy, there's an actual method. But with support group, it's just like basically confiding in people similar to your situation, and then just helping each other. So it's like a meetup, but, you know, helping each other through each other's emotions, which, like I said, is a little different than group therapy, where there's strategies and stuff like that. So yeah, so basically I was going to support group for a while because I was getting support that I needed, that I reached out for, because I was going through a lot financially. Basically, I didn't want to receive a lot of financial help from people, because I just wanted to take control of my life. I really wanted to be like, hey guys, like, I know you guys care about me. I know, like, you guys think you know what's best for me, but if I don't even know what's best for me, I can't coordinate with you. And so I had to stop giving people a lot of access to me, because, you know, I used to just be available all the time, and people would just be like, hey, I heard you were doing this, I heard you were doing that, and it just made me really uncomfortable, because I was just like, but I don't even know what I'm doing, so how do you know what I'm doing, you know? And granted, you know, it wouldn't be that serious of a conversation. Like, I'm not saying it was something that grinded my gears per se, but it was more like I didn't feel like I had control of my life, and I felt like other people were taking that control away from me. And I guess in other words, because I feel like that's kind of vague, but in other words, it was like, let me just go this way because there's people going out, but you know, in other words, it was like just, I don't know, it was just kind of like people would try to understand me, but I felt like they were doing the bare minimum too, and I felt like I was being taken advantage of, and I felt like I wasn't loved for what I could give as a person, but for what I had to offer in other ways, like in the sense of like, oh, you know, she's very easy to manipulate, she's very easy to persuade because she just listens to what other people tell her. She doesn't have a mind of her own, and I really wanted to change that, so I distanced myself from my family a lot. I didn't celebrate holidays with them. I didn't text or call. I wasn't even like, I was gonna say, I didn't even do anything like drastic that would require that. Like, I didn't go, like, what is it called? I didn't like go and become a nomad, but I just was like kind of like a nomad in my city, and I was like just kind of over life. And a lot of people who were living around my ex and I were pretty concerned about me because, you know, they wouldn't see me leave, and then when they did, I just looked unwell. And yeah, I don't know, it was just like, it was tough. I didn't want to tell other people what I was going through, you know. I know a lot of us can relate to that. I just didn't want to tell, because I'm like, what is there to tell? Like, I feel like I'm not making enough money. I feel like I'm not loved. I think I'm just liked, and even that I'm kind of unsure about, you know. Like, that's how I felt at the time. And you know, I just feel like sometimes as people, we shape a lot of our reality, and we think that other people are going to see things the way we do, and sometimes that's a lot harder, or a lot, should I say, more complicated said than done, or done than said. I mean, done than said. Well, said than done too, I guess. Just either way, vice versa. It's just like, you know, especially when it's like people would start a conversation with me and they would be like, actually, let me put this back. So people would start a conversation with me and they would be like it would be like they already planned what the conversation was going to be, and I'm just focused on having a conversation with them. But they would be focused on, okay, I'm talking to her because I want to know what she's been up to, because she's been mysterious as hell, so I need to know, I need to get to the bottom of this. And I just felt like how old was I last year? At 26 years old, I just was kind of tired of like non-genuine connections. Like, I was just like, I'm at a point in my life where like I've had enough of that. I've seen enough of that. Like, I have seen so much about people where it's like, I can see when something's fake, I can see when something's genuine, you know. And I was like, I'm not with that fake stuff anymore. Like, you know, it's either you're gonna ride for me, you're gonna like ride or die for me, or I just don't really care, you know, to have you a part of everything. And yeah, and unfortunately a lot of family members were put under that microscope where I was just like, hey, I don't think we're that close. And you know, and I had to tell them straight up. And I know that that hurts to hear, because sometimes, you know, whatever that phrase is, where it's like blood runs thicker or whatever, but at the end of the day, like if I feel like outside of us sharing genetics that we don't really have a connection or a personal you know, like just a personal and meaningful relationship with each other, then it's just not worth it to me, you know. It just wasn't. And after a while, I'll say that, you know, I definitely came to terms with the fact that what I was having in my relationship wasn't what I needed. And I know that my partner also felt the same way. Like we just felt like a lot of conversations were just running in circles. We were having the same kind of wants and needs that were not being met, and we would constantly just argue, and we would constantly just try to move past it. And every single time we did, we thought we achieved something. We thought that we solved the code, but next thing you know, it would just be another code, basically, I guess, to just kind of figuratively give an explanation to that. But you know, it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows, as I had told people. It was actually just, it was bleak. I thought that being in this relationship was going to be exciting. I thought that it was going to open my eyes to another world, and what it really did was just close me off to my wants and needs. And I didn't realize it at the time. I just thought that, like, I desire this person and I've stuck with this person. We couldn't live without each other at a certain point. You know, granted, that happens a lot, so I wouldn't even say to anyone that that's anything out of the ordinary. But, you know, I definitely felt like it's like a gut punch, but I definitely felt like let me go sit, actually. Let's just sit on top of my car, I guess. How do I do this? Okay, hold on. So, yeah. So, I'll show you guys the final product after, but, yeah, I just definitely, I felt like it was slowly, like, I was losing pieces of myself. Just just fragments of my being just chucked away like ice. Because I always told this person, I was like, I'm known for being cold, like ice, like I can bear a lot of cold. Like I've trucked through snow with like 2 t-shirts at most, And I know that a lot of people who live in colder climates can say the same, but when you're not from that climate, I think that makes you a different beast. And I always told this person that not only physically can I take the cold, but mentally I can as well. And I told this person multiple times, I was like, I know I'm not the one for you. And he would be like, why do you say that? And basically I just knew. I knew it. I knew it because it would be the simple things. It would be just, you know, I wasn't affectionate enough, like that. I told him like, I don't think he'd be able to handle just how non-affectionate I am. And he would be like, no, you are, because you are when you want to be. That's true, I am when I want to be. And I did want to be with this person. Anyways, but then it was like bills were piling up, and our health was really bad because we were so stressed. Like we wouldn't even keep the lights on for months because we were just so scared of the electricity bill going up. And we didn't want to rely on anyone, because we were at a point in our life where we never asked for help, so that was already the trajectory that things were going. And he was really sad that I wasn't reaching out to anyone, because he was just like, look, I understand that you're stressed, but I'm worried about you. And yeah, it's just not much to worry about per se when it comes to when I just get like that, because that just means that I just don't want to upset anyone. I just don't want to worry them, you know. But now I learned. I'm pretty much done, but yeah. So I'm just gonna do this really quick and show you the final product. Okay, so I don't know if you guys see it, but so yeah, we'll let this dry for a bit, then we'll get back to it. But yeah, so pretty much the story, you know. I definitely just want to end this video by saying that I didn't really plan what I was gonna say. I kind of knew I was gonna be upset just a little bit, but I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, so, you know, basically, I just want to say, like, okay, basically, I just want to say that, when two people, and this is not just with love, like with romantic love, right? But when two people recognize each other's soul, they become one. And what I mean by that is that there are times, especially when you're young, where, you know, you go to a party or something and you just automatically vibe with the person and it's like fireworks, but then you move on to another person and then you talk to this person and that person, and adulthood is, excuse me, adulthood is really like that, where you vibe and then you don't ever see that person again. And in those moments when I recognize someone's heart and I recognize that they have a temperament like mine, that's when I realize, like, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, when something in my life just gives me reassurance, like, just for a second, I take that opportunity to feel happy. Like, I take that opportunity to feel in control of my life, because if I let negative outcomes or just any little moment of being upset just take over me, then I can't enjoy my day, you know? And I know not everyone is like this, but for me, I can't enjoy my day, or I start to pick like moments in my day and then I sum it up to just, okay, today sucked because I lost this paper and then I found it, but then by then I hate myself, basically. And I don't like getting to that point of no return, you know? I don't like getting to that point of, like, being so warped in what's wrong that I don't realize what's going right. And that really goes for anything, because some things you don't realize what could have been or how you could have made it better until way later. And so with that, I say, like, you know, be patient with what you want to do. If you are the type of person that seeks for advice, or you don't have anyone to go to, so you look for answers in different places, like, I would say, if you do want to listen to my insight, which I'm guessing is why you're here, I would say, like, learn patience, whether that's through meditation or journaling or going out with friends or whatever. Learn patience. Learn it little by little, day by day, with everything that you do, and I promise you, things will be okay. And with that, I love you guys. I love each and every one of you, and I only wish the best for you. Bye.